Welcome back to Pick Six. It's another week. We're off to week number 2 in the NFL. Anthony had a great week last week.
Yeah.
4-2 on his Pick Six last week. So anybody
Woo!
who watched the show, who took Anthony's advice and made those bets, made some money. So
Bringing it in. That's all we do here, right? Again, you want to stay above 500. We're 2 games above 500 with that one in the first week. There's plenty more to come where that is. So please, please, please tune in and put in your bets with me. I'm telling you, just listen to what we have to say. It pays off. It pays off. Last week was amazing, including the Thursday game, which we won as well. That was a 5-2 start to the season. That is a great way to begin. And we got to carry that momentum through here. But I want to go perfect 6-0, baby. That's what I'm looking for.
yeah, 6-0 would be nice.
That would be great.
It'd be a little suspicious, but
it's the highest bar,
it could happen.
man.
It could happen. All right, so let's kick it off here. Let's start with your 6 most confident bet. As you know, Anthony goes from 6 to 1, 1 being most confident, 6 being least confident of the 6.
Yeah, see, we got to come up with a better way to say that, right? It's not really the least confident. It's 1 is my most confident. I start with the one I like up to my most confident. How about that? The ones I like, because there were a couple I left off this list that I still like this week on the lines. You know, a couple closer ones that I had to cut in favor of these 6. So it's not only these 6 bets. Sometimes I will tell you when, it was tough to make the 5-6. These are a little more iffy. But these 6 I feel pretty good about. So let's jump right in with my number 6. I have the Bengals minus 7.5 at Dallas. So yes, this game is in Dallas, but as we all know, Dak Prescott went down. It's not the same game anymore. We're not expecting it to be as competitive as if Dak was there. Backup quarterback, no idea what to expect. The Dallas defense played well, but this Bengals offense and team is going to come out on fire and target this Dallas team, knowing that their emotions are a little down without Dak, and they're going to have to find a way to chug forward. And I think that gives the Bengals a big advantage. So I'm taking the Bengals minus 7.5.
Yeah, that Trayvon Diggs, Jamar Chase matchup will be a lot of fun to watch, but I expect the Bengals to win that as well. All right, number 5.
Yes, so now coming in at number 5, there's a lot of big lines this week, and I always say with big lines, if it's plus 10, your eyes should be bugging like, wait a minute, 10 points? Because any NFL game that's competitive, 10 points is a big number. That's a hard number to reach when that's the line. And usually that's saved for, bigger occasions. But this week there's 4 games that are a line of plus 10. And depending on when you bet, at one point there were 5. So in this game anyway, at number 5, I have the Chicago Bears plus 10 against the Green Bay Packers. Now, I expect Green Bay to win this game. They should win this game. But given the results that we have already, Green Bay is a young team that is still growing. The Chicago Bears came out on fire, took advantage of the wet field with the 49ers. They're not going to have that same advantage probably against Green Bay. But 10 points is a lot to live up to, especially when you're a young, growing team that has questions on the offensive line, questions at wide receiver. I expect Green Bay to win, but not by 10 points, maybe by 3. So I'll take Chicago plus 10 all the way in this one as my number 5.
Chicago, and Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago.
That's right. Usually does. He'll still get the win. He'll find a way, but not 10 points. After what we saw from these two teams, you got to go Chicago here. Take the big pointers.
Okay, going with it. And let's move on to number 4.
Yes, and at number 4, I am taking the Steelers plus 2 at home versus the New England Patriots. This is another line that could shift coming up to game time. I have no idea why New England is the favorite in this one. They look like absolute garbage in their first game versus Miami. And Steelers, yes, they might have lost TJ Watt. He's definitely out for this game. And Najee Harris is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but they expect him to play. That Steelers offense can compete, right? They're not going to blow anybody away. They're not the best team on offense, but they are going to be able to compete. And the way New England looked last week, just lost on all phases. Talent's not there. Offense was chaotic against this Steelers defense that even without TJ Watt is still really good and has a great coach who knows what he's doing time in and time out with lesser talent. Whereas Bill Belichick maybe hasn't had to deal with that. this was one of those, I can't believe this is the real line right now. It should be the other way around, if anything else. So I'm taking the Steelers to win the game and Steelers plus 2 points. That's an easy pick for me at number 4.
Yeah, this should be a running game with good defense. So lower scoring, but it should be a lot of fun. Okay, number 3.
Yes, at number 3, this is another one of those crooked letter games. This one really perplexing as well. The Seattle Seahawks going to San Francisco are getting 9.5 points. Now, you look into week 1, and yes, week 1 is weird, and yes, there were circumstances beyond control like weather, but Seattle came out on fire. They beat the Denver Broncos, who were favored to beat them by a lot. The Seattle Seahawks won the game. They got the W. San Francisco came out and lost against an inferior opponent in the Bears. And now Seattle's getting 9.5 points. Well, I do expect San Francisco again to probably win this game in a close matchup, 1 to 3 points. For Seattle to be getting 9.5, that's too much of a crooked letter for me. Again, that always is eye-popping. I actually bet Seattle when the line was still plus 10, but I'm taking the Seahawks plus 9.5 versus or at San Francisco. So that's my number 3 bet.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to watch these quarterbacks. You know, Geno Smith looked pretty good. Trey Lance, we still don't know.
And he's got the weapons like DK Metcalf. You know, this is not a team to overlook.
Yep, I agree there. Number 2.
Yes, okay, another one that I really like here. The Jets getting 6 points against Cleveland, but I'm going with Cleveland as my number 2, -6. The Jets are still playing their backup quarterback in Joe Flacco. They haven't seemed to click on offense. They still look like a really bad team. Cleveland has a good roster. People did not want to accept that in week 1, but as you all know, I took them as one of my pick 6 last week, and they came out with the W. They were getting points then. Here, they're the favorite. They're -6 points, but against the lowly Jets, I think Cleveland wins by 10 or more points, at least 2 scores. So I'll take Cleveland -6 as my number 2 bet of the week.
But you don't trust Joe Flacco?
Not at all. Not with those weapons, the young kids. I think when Wilson comes back, we'll see a different Jets team. But until then, they have no momentum whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. And let's go to number 1. Best bet of the week goes to...
My big bet of the week is the Buffalo Bills in their home opener, -10 against the Tennessee Titans. Now, I know what you're thinking. Anthony, we all know you're a Bills fan. You are clearly a homer pick here. But when it comes down to it, the Bills are the best team in football right now, right? They're the favorites coming in. They beat the Super Bowl champions handedly on the road. Now they're coming home against Tennessee. A little bit of rain in the forecast. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. I think this Buffalo Bills team will own Tennessee on offense and on defense, and I'm expecting a handing them a big loss here in the home opener. I mean, Bills are probably going to score upwards of 35 points and hold Tennessee to maybe 10. So I'm all over the Buffalo Bills in this one to continue their march and statement on the NFL. So give me the Bills -10 at home versus Tennessee as my number 1 big bet of the week.
And as much as I want to play devil's advocate with you, nobody's been able to stop Josh Allen since
that's right
last year, right? Yeah. Late last season. So that continues. You just can't bet against him right now. So I got nothing for you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out the Sunday preview for all the games this weekend. And be sure to listen to Anthony's advice. His kid's on fire.
That's right. Just go ahead. Do it. Get those bets in there. Toss your hat in the ring.